This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Caddles.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast. It is Sunday afternoon during the 1 o'clock slate. Sorry, just not enamored with any of those games. So I figured I'd get some work done. As always, we are brought to you by Prizepicks and the CLNS Media Network. This episode is brought to you by Prizepicks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Download the Prizepicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prizepicks to get $50 in lineups when you play $5. Prizepicks, it's good to be right. So it is the holiday weekend. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. The Bedards certainly did. It was nice to have the kids at home. Let's see. We have full slate of Sunday games. We had a full slate on Thursday, and actually a great slate of games. I thought they were, really interesting and mostly good news. For the Patriots. First you had the Packers-Lions. That was a really good game. The Chiefs, of course, succumbed to the Cowboys. I'm still not killing the Chiefs, even though they look like they have big problems. They look old, not good, undisciplined, way too many flags. But with that quarterback, I'm not giving up on him. And I would not want to see them in the playoffs, even though I do think they're a pretty flawed team. They still have the pedigree. The Bengals destroyed the Ravens at Baltimore on Thursday night. I'm sure a lot of Patriots fans looked at that, saw what the Bengals defense did to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, felt a little bit better about Drake Maye and the Patriots from the week before. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't feel that way. I do think that Al Golden, the defensive coordinator, has found some things. He's doing a nice job. They're playing well. I do think there's something off with Lamar. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but there's some sort of issue there. The Bears beat the Eagles at Philly. I mean, incredible that all three underdogs, all four, won outright those four games. So I don't know. Does that mean something about this weekend? Is this the underdog weekend, which would not be to the Patriots' advantage? We will have to see. This is going to be sort of a smorgasbord type of thing where we do a little bit of everything. We talk about the Giants. We'll talk about the injury report. Also, if there's time, we could do some leftover Q&A. And also I did one on Saturday. So I think there were some good questions in there that we could get to. But let's first look at the injury report for both teams. Of course, Brendan Schooler and Jared Wilson are out for the Patriots. Look, Schooler's one of the best special teams players, in the league. And so, that's big, but they do have some bodies. They brought up, Miles Battle, signed him to the roster. He does some good things. Alex Austin went on IR. Jared Wilson, of course. Ben Brown will be in there. I think he'll do a little bit better than he did coming in cold. I mean, it was just like, 4 plays into the game. He had to go in there. I don't think it was, his best performance for sure. Harold Landry is questionable with a knee injury. I figure he'll be out there, but this is a guy, along with many other guys on the team, that needs the bye week. He has not been all that effective of late. He needs a rest. Kairos Tonga is questionable with the chest. He practiced on Thursday, did not on Friday. Well, if they would have practiced, he was limited. Both those guys were limited on Saturday. I would expect both to go. We'll have to see how it goes with Kairos Tonga. With the Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau is out, did not practice all week. Among the questionables, they have 4 guys at questionable. Probably the most significant guy is Demetrius Fowlers, who plays a lot for them at linebacker. Their backup is not very good. I just had their depth chart, and of course I can't find it. He's number 46 is the backup street free agent that they picked up. He is not all that good. I now have it in front of me. Zaire Barnes, not very good. If he's out there, I would go after him. So, not huge news on the injury front. We've heard from Vrabel that Vederian Lowe will start at left tackle. They decided not to move Marcus Bryant over. I don't think that's a big surprise, especially in regards to Bryant. I think Vederian Lowe, as a veteran, can play both sides. If needed, to ask Marcus Bryant, a 7th-round rookie, who's been training at right tackle and has been the next guy up at right tackle. They basically had Lowe and Bryant both as the backup on those sides. To all of a sudden, on a short week, maybe they might do it coming off the bye. But to ask him to all of a sudden flip sides to the left, I don't think that's something you want to do unless there's a disaster situation, and we'll have to see. This weekend could be a disaster situation, and it's I urge people not to overreact to what we see on Monday night because these Giants, while they don't generate a ton of pressure, they have some dudes: Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence. We're gonna have to see whether he comes back. I don't think I said anything about him on the practice report, so he must have been removed, because I know he's been dealing with an elbow injury, and he did come back. I just want to check that real quick. So I don't know if it's a situation where he's on IR, and he would need to be activated. Nope. He is not on IR, and he is not on the injury report. That's weird. I could have sworn I saw reports about, oh yeah, he is. Elbow, did not participate, limited, but he doesn't have a designation for the game, so he's good to go. That dude is a load. So that's sort of the injury update on the Giants and the Patriots. To give you an idea, sort of an overview, this is what I like to do when I look at these teams. The first thing I do is look at the DVOA. Again, it's not hard and fast. I do really like it as a tool because it does factor in the opponent and all that stuff. The Giants aren't all that different, really, than the Patriots, other than I would say the Patriots have a better offense, of course. The Giants are 23rd. Patriots are 17th. The offense, Giants are 18th. Patriots are 11th. Defense, Giants are 28th. Patriots are 27th. Special teams, Giants are 13th. Patriots are 17th. So, kind of similar in that, their offense is better than their defense on all the way around. Giants are pretty, as far as DVOA goes, pretty balanced on offense. They're 15th in pass, 17th in rush. Patriots are 5th in pass, 28th in rush. On defense, basically these two teams flip sides. The Giants are better on pass defense. They're 16th. Their rush defense is literally the worst in the league. We've been saying that a lot. The Patriots still can't run against those teams. They are 32nd in the league. The Patriots are 27th against the pass. They are 16th against the rush. As far as coverage ranks against types of receivers, the Giants are, not great. They're 22nd against wide receiver 1. Against wide receiver 2, they're 25th. Wide receiver 3, they are 10th. I pretty much put wide receiver 3 as the slot guy. To me, it would be a Demario Douglas, depending on the game. They have Kayshon Boutte back, so I put him as wide receiver 1. That's more of the X. The Z is wide receiver 2. So Stephon Diggs might have a good game. Tight end, they are 7th. That surprises me for a reason we'll talk about in a second. Running back, they are 11th. Patriots are 32nd against wide receiver one. That would be Christian Gonzalez. 22nd against with Carlton Davis. 19th, Marcus Jones. Tight ends, they are 15th, which also surprises me. Against the running back, they are 13th. Looking through the stats, and what's really good about these two teams as far as a stat comparison, what I like to do is I like to look back at the last 4 games. Of course, with a lot of teams, they've already had their buys, so sometimes that's dicey. You almost have to go back 5 weeks to get at least 4 games. The Giants also have the same buy as the Patriots, so they will both be going on the buy after this. So some things that stood out to me looking at the stats after last week's debacle near the goal line. The Patriots are 21st, tied for 21st in goal to go opportunities, 50%. The good news, the Giants are worse. They are 30th, 42.9%. Drake Maye is tied with Caleb Williams for most scrambles over the last 4 weeks. Patriots runners have been stuffed almost 21% of the time on plays, 27th in the league. Giants have been stuffed just 14.3% of plays. That's 11th. Giants have seen the third highest percentage of man defense, about 33%. Patriots are 10th at 30.3. Patriots have faced the 5th highest blitz percentage, 34%. Again, this is over just the last 4 games. Giants are 14th. Patriots pressure rate allowed of 40.1 is the 4th highest. Remember, in case it looks a little bit iffy, the Patriots pressure rate of 40%, basically 40.1% in the last 4 games is the 4th highest in the league during that time. They're only behind the Browns, the Jets, and the Chargers, not exactly teams known for their pass protection. So just remember that and don't think that it's the huge loss of Will Campbell, even though he's been a good solid player for them, or Jared Wilson. Like, the Patriots have had some issues. Drake Maye, factors into that. The Giants, very similar, they are 25th in pressure allowed, almost 39%. The Patriots pass success rate, this is now, this is on offense, 6th in the league, 48%. This is over the last 4 games, of course. Giants are 15th. Patriots rush success is 28th. Giants are 24th. So advantage Patriots passing game. Both teams can't run the ball worth a lick. Patriots are 2nd in explosive pass play rate. Giants 6th. Patriots are 26th in explosive rush plays. Giants are 20th. A couple interesting things here. Patriots are 12th in man cover percentage over the last 4 games. This is defense. Giants are 7th at 32%. Giants are 12th in pressure rate, about 36%. Giants are 24th. They've only gotten pressure basically about 30% of the time over the last 4 games. They do it different ways. The Patriots are 7th in the league in 6-man pressures, but 30th in 5-man pressures. So they like to bring those six guys, which we've seen before. They haven't been blitzing very much, but when they do, they like to bring those overload blitzes with 6. Giants are 25th in 6-man pressures, 11th in 5-man pressures. So the Giants like to bring 5. Giants are 22nd in blitz rate. The Patriots are 24th. Patriots they are 5th in the league in nickel rate, 72% of the plays. Giants are 4th in base. They play base almost 45% of the time. That's pretty different. I don't know how the Patriots will handle that. Not that the Giants are really good on defense. I think that plays into the Patriots playing with, 2 tight ends or, 2 backs. I wouldn't mind facing their base defense, especially with that linebacker that I was telling you out there, number 46, Zaire Barnes, no Kayvon Thibodeau. Let's see. Giants are 29th in explosive pass play percentage allowed. Thumbs up for Drake Maye and the Patriots. The Patriots are 16th in that same category. Giants are 2nd worst at allowing explosive rushes and 26th in explosive pass plays allowed. I want to say that's okay. Giants have allowed 6.1 yards per play. That's 29th in the league over the last 4 games. Patriots are 17th at 5.1. These are the 2 worst red zone defenses over the last 4 games. Giants are 31st. Patriots are 32nd in red zone defense over the last 4 games. So just to talk about the Giants for a second, watching some of their film, some of the things that stood out to me. I think that looking at, so it's hard. It's really hard to figure out what this Giants team is because, of course, you had Brian Daboll get fired and Jackson Dart hasn't played under Mike Kafka, the new interim head coach, play caller, offensive guys. He sort of made his name with the Eagles, if I remember correctly. But so we haven't seen Jackson Dart in this new offense. We've only seen Jameis Winston in this quote unquote new offense. Similarly, they fired the defensive coordinator, and we haven't seen the Giants under the new defensive coordinator, some guy that I have never heard of, and his name is Charlie Bullen. Have never heard of him. He's one of the linebackers coaches. So there's a lot unknown about the Giants. Let's talk about their pass rush, their defense a bit. Dexter Lawrence, if he's back, the dude's just a load in the middle of the line. I mean, he's strong and powerful. I do see, it's going to be an issue for Ben Brown and Garrett Bradbury. Bradbury, of course, is not the biggest guy in the world. You'd like to see Michael Wenu match up with him. I don't think he will. I think he'll see more of the 3 technique. Raheem Nunez Roches, always a good player for the Bucs. Darius Alexander, really like the rookie number 91, who backs him up. Those are the guys that'll probably see Michael Wenu. Lawrence is more of a nose tackle. And of course, you have Burns and Abdul Carter on the outside. They're good. I wouldn't say they're dominating. Well, what's interesting about Abdul Carter, and I heard from somebody on Twitter like, "Oh, we're supposed to worry about this guy with a half a sack." Come on, I mean, at least listeners here on this podcast know the sacks aren't everything. They're really nice because you get the down and distance, basically, but pressure is the name of the game, affecting the quarterback. And last time I looked, Abdul Carter has 38 pressures on the year. He basically averages about 3 pressures a game. That's not horrendous. It's not, awesome. He is a rookie, learning a new system. I can't tell how they handle the sides because in the film that I watch, Burns and Abdul Carter, almost every play flip sides. I want to say that Abdul Carter is the strong side end, but it's not like, if you motion, they're gonna flip sides or anything like that. They basically, so I'm not smart enough to tell you exactly where Abdul Carter is going to be. I do think it's interesting, like we always sort of discuss on here. Anything that you really want to know about a team, like whether it's is this Patriots player gonna play? A guy like Efton Chisholm or Elijah Ponder, any guy that you're like, oh, is this the time that they get their chance? Or when we talked about Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson before Stevenson had the injury, how coaches decide to use players tells you basically everything you need to know about how they view that player. Conversely, it's also helpful to look at how teams, especially smarter teams, work, well-coordinated teams. For example, I still think the Lions, even though Dan Campbell's play calling, Ben Johnson's gone, I still think the Lions are pretty smart about what they do. And it sure looked like to me that the Lions paid a lot of extra attention to Abdul Carter and sort of, dealt with Brian Burns. Abdul Carter is a physical freak. I'm sure he has a lot to learn about playing defensive end in the National Football League and this system. I don't know. I mean, I think he'd be better in the Patriots system as far as, it's really sort of simplified and, the games that they run and sort of, pin your ears back and go. I think the Giants are a little bit more read and react from what I can tell. So that's probably part of the reason for Abdul Carter. All I know is dude's a physical freak. He's fast. He can bend. Everything you want in a dominating pass rusher, he has it. Now, he hasn't put it together at this point, but it doesn't mean he's a bum or anything. He's far from that. Brian Burns has always been, one of the better players in the league. I've never been like the biggest fan of his, but you do have to respect him. You're going to have to pay extra attention to Dexter Lawrence. I don't think that Ben Brown or Garrett Bradbury can handle him one-on-one. The dude is a load. I just wanted to see at the combine, he was 6'4" and 340. I would say he's more like 360 at this point, but a very talented guy. Other guys, notable guys on this defense, Bobby Okereke, former Colt, loved that guy. Remember, he had a pick, coincidentally, we talk about the 2021 team and this team coming out of the bye against the Colts. He had a huge interception of Mac Jones, a very athletic interception. Like I said, I would pick on Zaire Barnes, number 46. Looks like they're going to get Paulson Adebo back. There's a guy named number 38, Corey Black. If you see him on the field, go after him. He stinks. Javon Holland, of course, from the Dolphins, is the free safety. I do not like their I don't like either. Well, I haven't seen Tyler Nubin, number 24, second round pick last year. Dane Belton, number 24, has been playing a lot with Nubin out. He is not very good. He's another guy I would go after. They could get Deonte Banks back this week. I like the guy, number 28, cornerback Cordell Flott. He's shown well on films. The nickel back is Drew Phillips. I don't have much on him. They do have kicking issues. I think they've been, dealing with guy Younghoe Koo is now their kicker. Gunnar Olszewski is on punt and kick returns. So that's something to watch. Offensively, okay, so Jackson Dart. I'm trying to think of a comparison for him because of how he runs. The big question is going to be coming off the concussion. They fired Brian Daboll. Part of the reason why he got fired probably is because he couldn't protect Jackson Dart. And, of course, a lot of it, similar to what we see with Drake Maye, a lot of it is just, Jackson Dart just being kind of, a little bit like all over the place and, whirling dervish, even though I think they're very similar, Dart in Maye, but Maye's a much smoother, calmer type of player. Both make plays, throwing the ball on the run. Both guys can run and try to run over people, but Drake Maye looks so much more in control than Jackson Dart. He's a bit of a whirling dervish, but similar skill set, even though Drake Maye's is way better in every single way. But and I would say Drake Maye's a lot more consistent. Jackson Dart has flashes of brilliance, but he can also have stuff that pulls your hair out. He loves, when they get in the red zone, if he sees one-on-one coverage, he is just going to throw it up for grabs. Give his guy a chance. He's big on that. Sometimes it works for him. Sometimes it doesn't. Of course, they're having a ton of injury issues. They have a lot of guys on injured reserve. Of course, we know about Cam Scatabo and Malik Neighbors. So this is another week where I don't want to hear Patriots fans whining about their injury woes with no starters on injured reserve. Isaiah Hodgins, 89, is sort of a boundary guy. Wan'Dale Robinson, 17, is more of a slot. Darius Slayton is like wide receiver 2. They're all, fine. Jalen Hyatt will be in the slot. He's pretty fast, but inconsistent catching the ball. Tyrone Tracy is their running back, backed up by Devin Singletary. He's all right, but, not a whole lot of juice there. The offensive line, Andrew Thomas, the left tackle, is one of the best in the league. Everybody else, borderline stink. John Runyon is the left guard. John Michael Schmidt is the center. Greg Van Roten, who I thought when you stock the right side of your line like the Giants have with two guys from the Raiders, when McDaniels was there, Greg Van Roten and Jermaine Illuminor. Of course, we know Jermaine from being here. You're in a little bit of trouble. I will say Illuminor really, especially under McDaniels when he was out there, really started to put his career together. And he's a good, solid veteran right tackle. He's not a bum or anything like that. At times, he was definitely a bum when he was here. I don't think much of the Giants tight ends at all. One thing, speaking of tight ends and the Giants defense, one thing that definitely jumps out on film about the Giants defense is that they are uber aggressive on play fakes. And of course, Jared Goff is one of the best play fakers that there is in the league. He got a lot of guys open that way. This would be a great week for Drake Maye to really be good at his play fakes, and get some things going. So that's one thing I'm looking for this week. As far as how the Giants run their offense, again, a big question mark. I know when watching Dart against the Bears before he went out with the concussion, they did a lot of different things. They will do shotgun RPO, like true RPO, where they're reading. They have designed runs for him, pulling people, cutting ends. Like, I really like their QB run game. As you see, it's a tough way to live with Jackson Dart suffering concussion. So I wonder if they take all that stuff out of the playbook. I do think that limits his ability. I don't think you'll be able to tell him not to scramble and run around like a madman. He will. That's going to be a big key in this game, how they handle that, because he can definitely hurt you with his legs. But I don't think we'll see as much designed run, true RPO. I think it's going to be more window dressing. The Giants do like to get under center a lot. And when they do that, you'll see a lot of the sort of, Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak, West Coast sort of, boot action stuff, getting movement one way, rolling Jackson Dart out. He throws pretty well on the move, not as well as Drake Maye, but, pretty well. And sometimes he's a little bit late. One area of the field I'm a little bit fearful of with Jackson Dart, at least what I could see in the Bears game, is he was pretty good about, they try to give him half field reads. And if it's not there, he will look for the backside guy cutting across, coming over the middle. That's been a big weakness for the Patriots this year. And Jackson Dart has shown the ability on film to sort of target that. So, that's a look at the Giants. I'll come back with my game pick in a little bit. But first, let me tell you about my friends at Prizepicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prizepicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prizepicks, where it's good to be right. Prizepicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least two player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prizepicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you could pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Drake Maye's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Of course you do. You're Pats fans, and you probably want to do it this week against the Giants because they give up a lot of big plays, and they don't have much of a secondary as long as the Patriots can get it blocked up. Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prizepicks. Download the Prizepicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prizepicks, it's good to be right. Okay, let's do some Q&A from my BSJ members chat on Saturday. This is sort of a good thing that sort of is conducive to this solo pod. By the way, Nick, I just kept delaying. It's holiday weekend. The kids are around. We went to Matthews Arena on Saturday to say goodbye to the old barn. 115 years old. There's only, I think, 3 home games left. I was looking at the Northeastern basketball schedule. I didn't even realize they don't play, unless that's a change this year, just to get it over with. But they don't play in Matthews Arena anymore. What a bummer. Hope for the days of Jim Calhoun. But I will say, if you've never been, I highly recommend going to Matthews Arena and seeing it. I mean, I wanted to bring the kids and my wife. They never got the chance to experience the old Boston Garden. It's basically a mini version of the old Boston Garden. Same architect. Was built first. Original home of the Bruins, so that was pretty cool. And also, yes, I'm wearing my Rutgers shirt. I know what happened on Saturday. No, I did not watch the game. I did leave it open to, if Rutgers was close with Penn State at halftime, we could leave the hockey game and go to a sports bar and watch the end of the game. I left it up to my son. He did not want to jinx Rutgers. He kept watching it on his phone. I monitored. I tried to warn him, but Rutgers, of course, had one of the most painful losses, probably since the last Rutgers painful loss, which seemed to always happen, probably when Paul Mulcahy threw the ball away in the NCAA tournament. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it. But I still love my school. They kill me, but I love my school. So, yes, I'm wearing the Scarlet R today. Okay, so let's do a few questions. The Athletic floated Ryan Cowden as a possible potential GM candidate. This is from Jay Chow of 4. If Cowden were to leave, are there any obvious candidates to replace him, internal or external? To use a Thanksgiving metaphor, would Elliott Wolf and or Macro get invited back to the adult table? First of all, I mean, I think a lot of Ryan Cowden. He'll probably be a future GM. I don't know. He was like second or third guy in Tennessee. Then he went to the Giants. I know Shane thinks a lot of him. Then he came here. I don't know. I don't think people are beating down the door for Ryan Cowden right now, a guy who you can't really tell what he's doing. But the point is, choosing this question is like, what's wrong with, as far as Ryan Cowden and Stretch go, and both of those guys could be GMs, and then it gets a little bit awkward at some point down the road if both of them, probably they all want to run their own shop. I mean, I think Stretch is more of like a team president type of guy, but who knows? He can do anything. He's that talented. But let's say somebody comes after Ryan Cowden this offseason and be his GM, and Vrabel, wants to keep him. I mean, it's an easy way for Vrabel to sort of force the hand that Ryan Cowden is now my vice president of player personnel. You push Elliott Wolf aside. If I'm the Crafts, whatever makes Vrabel happy, I do. And if that's making John Stryker team president, that's making Ryan Cowden GM, so these 3 guys can stay together, I'm doing that. Why am I letting him go? For what? To keep Elliott Wolf in his job with his title? I mean, I love Elliott, and I think he's good at what he does when he's given an opportunity to do it. But to me, there's no reason why Ryan Cowden should be leaving. It's not like the Patriots have some strong GM or something like that where there's no spot for him. So, but in any event, I'm sure Vrabel has a short list of guys that he's worked with before. Let's see. M. Botello 05. I got the feeling last week that they knew about Maye and the checkdown statistic, how he does it the least amount of time, which is true. Drake Maye, at least going into last week, was, or 2 weeks ago, 32nd in the league in checkdown percentage. All of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, he's checking down like crazy. And as you know from my film study from the last game, he was doing it too soon. He didn't need to do it too soon. Drake does that this way. Like he goes, it's part of being a young guy. He goes really far one way. Like if you say, all right, well, you took too many hits, you brought in too much pressure this week. This week we're going to work on it. And now he's like getting rid of the ball too quickly. Now it's, hey, you're not finding your check down. You got Travion Henderson. He's fast. Like if you hit him, somebody falls down or he makes a move, he could be gone. Like if you don't have it, check it down to Travion. just like the Patriots used to check it down to Marshall Faulk or James White or, whoever. It was almost like he was looking for too much and that he was playing so tight. Do you see any of that on film? I didn't see Drake Maye playing tight on film, but yes, he definitely, there were plays, some of the ones I outlined in my column, that the play, like for instance, there was a dig route to Mac Hollins off of play action, and it's designed to go to Mac Hollins, and Mac Hollins was wide buck open, but Drake Maye didn't even give it a chance and checked it down to Travion Henderson. I'm not that worried about it. I think Drake learns. He's going to watch the film. He'll be like, "Oh, I didn't do this," and he'll get the timing right. It'll be better. I mean, he's so young, and he's just still in the second year of starting. We talked about Victory Fall said, "Is it break the glass time to check in with David Bakhtiari yet?" No, the Patriots are not doing that. I mean, maybe if Vederian Lowe gets hurt and Marcus Bryant gets hurt, some sort of disaster scenario. But the Patriots, you hear from people about like, who can they pick up, and there's no white knights coming in for this team. This is who they are. The CJ Dippre, and who's the other cat that they promoted from the practice squad? Oh, Braden Swinson. They use 52 and 53 on those guys who probably aren't going to play this year, who might not even make the team next year. So it's not like the Patriots are out there being like, oh, well, let's use the last 4 spots to go pick up any veterans we have just to protect ourselves. Maybe they do that come the playoffs. I don't know, but they ain't showing any indication of doing that anytime soon. Let's see. What are the chances the team is tired and a little dejected over the injuries and are looking ahead to the bye and lay an egg on Monday night? This is part of, we might as well get into it now. Good segue into this. First of all, they're not going to be dejected about injuries. It's not like, this isn't the Chargers. This isn't walking wounded. I mean, hell, they're not even the Giants. I mean, losing their starting running back and one of the best wide receivers in the league. And they're still battling. And I do want to point that out, when I talk about the Giants. These guys play hard on film. Maybe they don't know where they're going all the time, but they're playing hard on both sides with energy. I liked what I see on film as far as, what kind of – they're not going to come in here and roll over. I can tell you that much. And, with Dart back, that's even less so. I am going to – so the line in this game, let me just double check. It's been 7.5 almost the entire time. The over-under is 46.5. I'm going to pick the Patriots to win, of course. Would I be surprised if the Giants won? No. I'm going to say the Patriots don't cover, and it's not for any real reason. I think they're better than the Giants. I do think the Giants are, playing for their coaches, playing for their jobs. Like, they're spunky and they're getting Dart back, and Dart will make some plays. But this, the Patriots, I think, even though the Giants are in the same position with the bye week coming, I think there's a little bit of freshness with all the changes that they've had, where the Patriots have been sort of on the hamster wheel, basically for the better part of, 12, 13 weeks. But I do think that, you could feel the Patriots running out of gas a bit. It feels like the Giants are a little bit younger. And also, the Patriots could be looking ahead like, oh, we just need to get through this game, and then we get to the bye week and we can get a rest and, sort of, not going out there. And plus they have the Bills and the Ravens, after that. I could see the Patriots like, struggling a bit in this game to get all the way up. So my game pick for this game is the Patriots win, but they don't cover the 27.5. I'm going to say Patriots. Let's see. I'm going to go 27-20. That's really close. Anywhere between a field goal and a touchdown, I think, is where the Patriots go. Let's see. Richie Rich asks, what's the likelihood of Shane Bowen joining the staff in some capacity this season? He's the fired Giants defensive coordinator. He was Vrabel's defense coordinator, I think, in Tennessee at one point. I don't really know. I mean, it could happen. Some guys, when they get fired, just want to go home to their kids and sort of, recharge and wait. Some guys are workaholic. I don't know anything about Bowen in that regard. I'm sure he can consult from afar. I don't know why he needs to be brought in, unless they're looking for Terrell Williams' help or something along those lines. I don't know. It could happen. Let's see. Anything else? I guess we'll end on this. Was Vederian Lowe a victim of terrible situation last year? Bad coaching, bad O-line support, blah, blah, blah. That has marred his reputation, or is he truly bad and there's no hope of confident left tackle play versus the New York Giants? Vederian Lowe did not have a good season. Nobody had a good season on that coaching staff, whether it was Gerard Maye or Alex Van Pelt or Scott Peters. Like, it wasn't working for anybody. And as we talked about ad nauseum last year, Alex Van Pelt left those tackles out to dry a lot of the time. I thought it was completely unfair. If I was the offensive coordinator of the team last year, I would have played, come in tight, max protect. I don't care if we don't have people open down the field. We are going to run the ball and we are going to protect our quarterback first and foremost. And whatever we need to do, we will do that. Vederian Lowe is fine. I would say he's obviously a backup. I would say he's a decent backup. I thought he played well in spurts last week. I thought he played mostly well. I didn't have him for any pressures in that game. Some of the ones that might have shown up, I put more as team pressures. There were some free rushers in the game last week, but that was about the Bengals bringing extra guys. If there's an extra guy, that's not on the offensive line. It's on the quarterback in the system. So I didn't see any, fundamental breakdowns. And Josh McDaniels is really, really good at this. He is really good. He is one of the best in the league at scheming up exactly what he has to do to protect the quarterback. He starts every play with, how are we going to protect this against this team? What are we going to get a blitz? Where's Burns going to be? Where's Abdul Carter going to be? Who are we going to need to protect? So I don't think Morgan Moses will get much protection and much help in this game. Lowe will. You're going to have to also watch Dexter Lawrence, in the middle. But Vederian Lowe is, I would say, and he should give you adequate left tackle play, good enough to win games in this league. This is, look around the league. The Chargers have lost both their tackles, and those dudes are like all pros. The Patriots have lost one, a rookie who's good, solid player. Josh McDaniels has made him look better than he is. He was a disaster in the Vikings joint practice. Why? Because they didn't run any scheme. They don't help in joint practices. He was left one-on-one all day, and Jonathan Grenard ate his lunch. So Will Campbell is a good player. He's not anywhere close to a great player. Could be in time. He could be a guard. I think he's going to be a really good player, but that's a long ways off. I would say he's good, solid left tackle who needs help like everybody else. He got a lot of help this year, and Vederian Lowe is going to be the same way. But, I think they're going to be just fine with Vederian Lowe as long as McDaniels and those guys protect the players, which I think that they will. It could look rough. Could be Abdul Carter's coming out game. That does not mean Vederian Lowe's terrible and this is going to be a disaster. It doesn't mean that. They could be just fine against Buffalo the next week. I don't think much of Joey Bosa on the outside or Epinesa. Those are good players, but not, it's not like you're going up against the Texans or the Broncos in the next couple weeks. So with that, I think that's enough. I think we will wrap it up. Thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging with us during the holidays. Make sure you check out BSJ for all our coverage. Me and GRD will be all over it on the Monday Night Football game. Check out CLNS over on YouTube. Patriots Press Pass, all that good stuff. They had a ton of videos. You want interviews, you'll want to go through the Patriots clunky site, go over to YouTube and Patriots Press Pass, and you find a lot of really good stuff over there, along with all their great stuff on the Celtics as well. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a good Sunday, and let's see what happens on Monday night, and then let's everybody take next weekend off and relax and rest up, because it's going to be really interesting in the last month or two of the season.